What's going on, guys? It's Keefe. Ask just about any man in his early 20s and they almost always have the same ambitions for their life. He wants to get a lot of money, he wants to be able to get girls, he wants to live an awesome lifestyle, yet most men end up in jobs they hate, living paycheck to paycheck, and they're either single or they're in relationships they're not happy with. So why is it that most men never really get what they want out of life? It's because they make several bad decisions that tend to sneak up on them kind of like a trap. One day you just kind of wake up and you became what you never wanted to be and you don't even know how it happened. So in this video, we're going over the 5 biggest traps that a man tends to fall for in his 20s that will derail his life. This video should hopefully give you some awareness so you can ask yourself the question, am I falling for these traps right now? And if you are, you can immediately course correct so that you don't screw yourself up. Because most of the time, if you can just avoid the traps, your life will go pretty great. So the first trap is getting caught up with a woman who's not worth it. This is probably the most common killer of a man's potential in life. A man gets a little intimacy from a decently attractive woman and he throws all of his dreams to the wind. The problem with doing this though is he often loses the girl and loses out on his dreams. Because the girl that you got when you were focused on going after the things that mattered to you in life was attracted to the man who was chasing his dreams, not the man who threw it all away to be obsessed with her. And most women are not going to know to tell you that you need to stay on your purpose and keep going after your goals and be an attractive kind of guy because that's what she liked about you. And because of this, she doesn't say anything, and so the guy ends up pretty much just trading it all in for cuddle nights and pizza. And because of this, the girl eventually loses interest and the intimacy dries up. Now, she may end up staying with him or she may not. She might find a better option, but either way, the man gave up on his dreams and purpose in life for a woman, and he ended up really getting neither. Ben Franklin once said that if people chose security over liberty, they would get neither and deserve neither. And I would tell you that if a man chooses a woman over his dreams, he will get neither and he will deserve neither. And along with this, most men, especially in their early 20s, are horrible judges of female character. They will convince themselves that Brittany's habit of flirting with every single guy that she sees is just her bubbly personality and it's all completely innocent. I've been in this same kind of position, blinded by emotion, and I can tell you that it takes a long time to clean up the mess, and most guys, I mean, there's a lot of guys out there who really never recover from it, so you need to pay attention. Now, the second trap is trying to look like you've won before you've actually won. The more energy you invest in trying to look like you're the shit right now, the less energy you have to actually become the shit. I used to fall for this. I felt this huge need to validate myself to other people and prove that I was successful and prove that I was this top level kind of guy, and this led to this massive amount of energy being put into appearances that really didn't mean anything, and oftentimes these people that you're trying to impress, like, they don't even care to begin with. Now, this is not only a huge waste of time, but it often costs a lot of money. The car that you want to impress people with, the clothes you want to impress people with, the vacation you're going to go on to impress other people, all of these things cost money, and that money could be better served being invested in making you a higher level guy so that in the future you can actually win. The funny thing about this is a lot of times in order to really be successful, you have to go do things that make you kind of look like a fool and make you kind of look like a failure for a while because you're not going to know what you're doing right at the beginning. And so the funny thing about it is a lot of times in order to actually win, you have to be willing to look like you're losing for a while. Like when I first started making content, especially on YouTube, it was pretty low quality and I was saying like kind of some weird stuff, to be honest, a lot of times. And there was people in my hometown who were trying to mock me for doing this. And if I'd been bothered by that and I wasn't willing to kind of be a fool at first so that I could get good at this, I either would have probably quit or I would have put a lot of energy in trying to make them think that I was really killing it in life. And either way, this would have been a huge mistake and I never would have actually been able to continue to improve my skills to the point where I'm at now, where I can kind of just talk about whatever on camera and feel comfortable with it. And it seems like I must be able to provide some value because people keep watching. Just remember that life is a marathon, not a sprint. And if you're willing to just stay down for 5 years and get in those trenches and get to work, you'll get to be on top for the rest of your life. Now, trap 3 is falling out of shape. Do not let yourself get out of shape in your 20s because it is way harder to get back in shape right after that. I'm not saying you can't do it, but a lot of times when you're in your 30s and moving on into your 40s and 50s, you've got a lot more responsibilities. Also, your testosterone levels drop. You just don't really feel like going and getting yourself in great shape. So it's better to stay in good shape early on when you have less responsibilities and you're young and you want to lift weight. And you're also in a position where you can turn this into a healthy lifestyle early on so that it's just a habit for the rest of your life and you don't really have to think about it. And also, if you lose your health in your 20s, there's a good chance you're probably also going to fail financially. And I say this because of all the successful people I know, at least in this generation, 99% of them are also on a fitness grind. There is a huge correlation between those two things. People really who prioritize success in general in life are going to prioritize their health, and they're going to prioritize their finances. Very rarely do you find somebody who's working on one who's not working on the other. So you should be on a serious training regimen. This is like one of the foundational things of your daily life. This is going to make you more confident, give you more self-respect. It's going to improve your physical and mental health, and it's going to make you more attractive. And all of these things are essential if you want to be a high value man. Trap number 4 is staying safe and comfortable. If you play it safe, you will not make it to the top. Straight up. There is no way around this. Like, I would say this, if you don't feel like you have to do something courageous every single day, you probably are not aiming high enough. A lot of times men will get some job that pays for their rent and their car payment, and they've got a girlfriend, and they just get really comfortable. And this ends up being the end for them. They are victims of their own low expectations for themselves and the low expectations that society places upon them. But if you want to be something in this world, you have to set high expectations for yourself and go out and do bold, courageous things. You cannot stay in your comfort zone. Literally every major growth moment in my life has come from me doing something new, something courageous, and something uncomfortable. Lean into this feeling and avoid the trap of comfort and security, because at the end of the day, it's actually neither of those things. That comfort that you get on a daily basis by sitting around watching TV and not hitting the gym ends up leading to you being out of shape, unhappy, and depressed. And the safety that you feel from working your 9-to-5 hourly job and not doing anything to grow yourself and earn more money leads to you living paycheck to paycheck. It leads to debt, and it leads to a situation where you are at the behest of other people who are in control of you and could take your job from you at any moment. Safety and security is this trap that society sells you so that you'll become a docile little cog in the wheel. Now, trap number 5 is getting stuck in the wrong 9-to-5 grind. When I was at my last job, before I quit it and took my business full-time and moved to Texas, I realized I was about to fall into this trap, and that was one of the big reasons why I decided I needed to make the move. I realized that I was being trained to focus on one specific skill set at the job that I had, and I was basically going to be qualified for that one job, and it was going to open doors for me to continue to climb up that ladder, but it was kind of removing all of the other possibilities from my life. Like, I really didn't have enough time to focus full-time on my brand and business, and the job was going to start to require more and more of my time as things went along. And a lot of men fall into this trap. They see like a slightly better opportunity if they continue down the path that they're on, and so they never really realize that by continuing to climb the ladder that they're on, they basically get rid of the option to climb all the other ladders. And so if they haven't had enough foresight to really make sure that the path they're on is going to lead to the life that they want to live, what happens is you walk down this path to the point where you really can't turn back and go down another path, and now you're kind of stuck. It just becomes too impractical to switch lanes because you're kind of dug in, and a lot of times you've got a life outside of your career put together at this point. You can't just pack up and change everything completely and start making less money and try and build something else. Like, that's just very impractical a lot of times. And so if you don't from the beginning realize that the career you're going down is or is not going to lead you to what you want out of life, there's a good chance that later on you're going to realize it's too late and I'm kind of stuck where I'm at. Now, this isn't necessarily about following your passion in life, although I do think you should do something you enjoy with your life. This is really just about understanding, is the career that I'm going to be going down here, whether it's working for myself, working for a company, whatever it is it something that I'm actually inspired to do? Is it something that produces the lifestyle that I want to live? It's about consciously making sure that the path you're headed down is the path that leads you to what you want, instead of just kind of unconsciously taking the next little thing right in front of you and not really thinking a few steps ahead and being willing to be stubbornly committed to the plan that you want for your life. A lot of times the allure of like a little bit more money will lead guys down this path. Maybe they find themselves in a situation where they're working a job they really don't like, and so they kind of get some skill that seems like it's something that can maybe make their life a little better. Maybe they can get paid more, but it's a pivot into a career field that they want nothing to do with, and now they're kind of stuck in that one. Or maybe it's directly in the position that they're in, it's taking the next step. This is where I was at my last job. It was moving into a management role, which was going to take a significantly larger amount of my time up, but I was going to get paid more. And so there was that enticing allure of like, oh, I can get paid a bit more money, I can feel a little bit more secure, but I had to have enough foresight to realize, yeah, but if I do that, I basically give up all of the things that I really want in my life, and I'm kind of going to be stuck going down this path where I don't really have much leverage over my own life. And this is another reason why I say one of the biggest traps, if not the biggest traps that guys fall for in their 20s is getting caught up with a woman who's not worth their time. Is a lot of times guys will have a girlfriend and she wants to take things more seriously, and so that enticing idea of, oh, I can just go get paid a little bit more money at this job and now we can afford that house, or I can afford to get married, or I can afford to have kids, or I can afford a second car. You start to think in this way that doesn't actually lead you to what you really want out of life. It leads you to kind of solving your immediate pain points, and you have to avoid that way of thinking out of desperation and out of your frustration at your current situation, and be willing to tolerate that long enough to figure out what it is you really want out of life and be willing to put up with that discomfort until you get it. So before you go too far down a path in life, ask yourself, is this the right path for me? Ask yourself questions like, at the end of this career, does this provide me the lifestyle I want to live? Does it provide me the money I want to live? Do I like who I work with? Do I like what I'm actually doing? So ask questions like this and make sure that whatever you're going to do with your life checks all those boxes, and don't fall for the trap of just kind of taking what's right in front of you and telling yourself that you'll get to your dreams eventually and get to the things you really want to do with your life eventually. Because if you say you're going to do it eventually, I promise you it's not going to get done, and you're going to stick with the path that you're on that leads you to what you don't want out of life. Now, the other key to this is you can't waste time making this decision, though. So many guys, this is actually the flip side of this. It's the other trap involved in this, and that is the trap of not actually making a serious decision and going all in on something. This is the thing that a lot of guys also do. If they don't kind of go all in on the wrong thing, they don't go all in on anything, and it's almost like they become Peter Pan and they live off in Neverland and really never take anything seriously in life. You don't have time to waste and sit around pondering your purpose in life. That's not what this is all about. It's about making a clear decision. What lifestyle do I want to live? And then go find the thing that's going to lead you to that lifestyle. You don't have years to sit around pondering life's purpose for you. Simply find something that's a means to an end for the life that you want to live if you don't already know what your purpose is. You need to pick a career. Just make sure it's a career that gets you what you want out of life. Guys, avoid these 5 traps and you will find yourself in a much better life than 99% of men. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you in the next video.